What up, y'all? Scotty GLL. Just a spontaneous live hopping on. Random. Checking in, seeing who's up, seeing what's cracking. It's late here in the on the East Coast. See if we get some folks from out west. Got a lot in store for you guys. Got a lot in store. A lot of game, a lot of nuggets. If I don't get an audience soon, we got one dude in the chat. What's going on, bro? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a hit and run. So what's good, everybody? Yo, what's good, man? Yo, what's going on, man? We have a few people in the audience. Come on, join. Yo, what up, Al? I knew you'd be up late. Coming at you live and direct. Stab your neck. Good, CJ. Yeah, you're stoned, Al? Yeah, I'm just chilling, man. Just chilling. Wanted to randomly hop on, see who's gonna join the party. 2K. Oh, that got the numbers up. That got the numbers up. You guys have any interesting topics you want to talk about? Anybody want me to cover something in the manosphere related? Yo, what's up, Kevin? Not good, my man. Not good, bro. I got into a bad car accident, man. I don't even have a car right now. Good thing I wasn't doing Lyft at the time, but a cop blew a red light. Woman slammed her brakes in front of me, and I fucking totaled the front of my car. It's at the shop. It's been pretty shitty lately, man. It's been pretty fucking shitty. My fault, though, I guess. Guess it's my fault, man. I'm being lazy driving. What you doing, man? How you guys up? What are you guys up to? Appreciate you, Al. Appreciate you, my dog. Memphis staying in the birds. You gotta know what it's like, man. It's probably rough for you, too. Yo, life is very fragile, man. In the blink of an eye, your whole world could just flip upside down. It was like everything was going pretty smooth, and then out of nowhere, bam, I'm in a fucking car accident. Just fucking not paying attention. I mean, even though I can say, like, it was that cop's fault and everything like that, he had a siren on, blew a red light. The girl was going, it was green in front of me, and slammed on her brakes. I slammed on my brakes, but I was just a little too slow. Hell yeah, man. Good for you, Kevin. You're an inspiration to a lot of guys, my man. For sure. I'm excited to see what you do down in Memphis, downtown. I hope shit starts to pick up on my end too, man, in terms of just everything, coaching, women, getting just settled, bro. I'm tired of like the nomadic lifestyle, man. It's fun when you're a kid, do it in your 20s, go explore, bounce around, but I don't know, I miss the feeling of being home. We're up to 6. We're up to 6, man. Lucky 6. Maybe it will start to pop off. Even though it's 1:26 in the morning, Eastern. I remember doing one of these lives a while ago, like late at night, and it started to pick up. People start to get the notification. The only thing is I was on StreamYard. StreamYard lets you guys come up. I should have went on StreamYard so I could let you guys up. Yeah, exactly. I didn't like what that guy Artem did. He came in and all of a sudden started promoting his own shit. I thought that was kind of corny. I had to call him out on that. I don't know. He's trying to get his own people. He didn't really say anything, and all of a sudden he just says like, "Yo, come over to my group chat for text game advice." Yo, Kevin, we're gonna be pretty close, man. I think what is Tennessee is right next to Atlanta, right? I'll be moving to Atlanta in a few months, and I don't know how long you're gonna be staying in Memphis, but we're gonna be like, you know, states. Aren't they right next to each other? Or am I tripping? Maybe is it Alabama? I don't even know. I thought Tennessee was right next to Atlanta. I mean, right next to Georgia. I could be wrong. Yo, does any of you guys still work out? Kevin, have you been working out? What about you, Al? You guys train still? This is all I got for working out, bro. Like this Olympic barbell, and then I got the yoga mat. That's it. And I'll go to a park and do dips, pull-ups. Six hours away. Yeah, you're right. It's not that close. Still not that bad though. Like by plane, that's probably like what, an hour or some shit. Maybe less. Good, man. Good stuff. The gym's a little bit overrated, man. Especially when you come into like the manosphere space, everybody, or red pill, they're all like, you know, workout number 1, make money number 2. What else do they say? They put women like top, like last on the list just to sound cool or some shit. I think a lot of young men have that mentality, and then it ends up backfiring on them. They're like 30 years old, 40 years old, and they got their bank account up and they got no bitches. I think it's a bad strategy. They could exist simultaneously. I mean, you could get your money up and still bag women like as you're going along, but it does, as you know, man, it does require a lot of time. The better you want to get at it, it does require a certain amount of time dedicated every day. Good old Kevin, man, always shows up, always supports. I could count on you at any time fucking of the day. 1:30 in the morning, bro. That's a real supporter right there. One thing I'm looking forward to going to New York with Andrew. I think that's going to be crazy. That's going to be awesome. I never did like a 7 to 10 day boot camp or immersion. That's going to be insane, bro. It's going to be absolutely fucking epic. I'm just gonna have to manage my time better, man, because I'll tell you, bro, 3 day ones are fucking exhausting because I always over deliver. I don't really have a set schedule. All I know is I end up going, from say noon to like 4 in the morning until the bars close, and like with a determination to get the guy laid. So I don't know, 7 days of that gonna be rough. I'm gonna have to like cut back on the hours a little bit so I can last. Yeah, exactly, dude. Oh yeah, dude. Once that group, I want that group to be notoriously known for like the fucking the pull squad. We should rename it the pull squad. Outside of you, me, Andrew, Oliver, my man Dan, who doesn't want to, he's just too busy, doesn't want to be in the group. He pulls a lot of hot chicks. Who else? I guess Artem's decent. Do I ever go on Playing with Fire live panels? Yeah, I've been on there a few times. Like 3 times. You think that would be a good play, man? Sometimes it gets like, I don't know. When Sartain's on there, he just talks and talks and talks and talks. No one could get a word in. Hey, Nolan, is that where you came from? You came from Playing with Fire? Oh, nice, bro. Glad to have you aboard, man. You're in the right place. What are some of your goals right now? Where do you rank? What would you rate yourself in terms of overall SMV game? What are things you need to work on? Yeah, for sure. I agree with you, Kevin, for sure, man. I think I've always, it's kind of hard for me to say though, because I never really worked for someone. I don't even really count working for my dad. You know what I mean? Like, it was so easy to game my whole life. Like, there was no excuses for me. The door was always wide open for me to put in a lot of time in the field. So if I really like didn't have that benefit, and I had to like bust my ass and go fucking do some shit job that I didn't want to do, work for some scumbag, yeah, it's got to be like pretty rough. To be fair to those guys, I guess, if they're all working. But some of them, I don't know. Some of them seem to even have the time. They're just not putting in the work. Yeah, dude, for sure. I mean, there's always time to game. I just think guys like me and you are very fortunate. We literally have like, when you're doing DoorDash and shit, like you could just, you're your own boss technically, and you could just do what you want when you want. Yeah, always friendly convos. Did you jump on his speed dating tonight? He seemed like he had a hard time getting contestants to come up there. It was kind of weird with just one chick who was, in my opinion, kind of busted. I thought that was weird. He normally has like at least 2 to 3 decent looking women up there, so it was odd. Yeah, Nolan, I think that's everybody's, if you peel back the layers, that's everybody's primary sticking point. Honestly, dudes just don't know how to like sexualize, whether it's from a flirty sexualization. They just keep it so platonic. Think about our conversations, our conversation throughout our entire life. This conversation right here is platonic. This is not really how I would be speaking to a woman. Maybe I mix it in, but you have to, if you just keep it at this wavelength, it's never going to get there. Like you have to throw in the innuendos, the direct compliments. Quite frankly, there's nothing else. Once you get over the approach anxiety, and I don't say that lightly, guys could struggle with approach anxiety their entire life. But once that's pretty much subsides, is really not a factor where you could still talk now anytime you want. I think now at that point, the biggest issue always becomes going from friendly to sexual. Most guys have a really, that's it. That's the biggest one. Because if they were able to sexualize, they would be getting something. They'd be getting, even like if they weren't that calibrated, they would be getting something if they were able to sexualize. Some girl's going to take it. They're definitely going to take it. If you put yourself out there, like, and you're able to sexualize, you're going to get some girls are going to want it back. How'd I manage to get good? I think it all started from just a deep insecurity, like the validation and shit like that. You know, it drove me to like, you know, it drove me to an extreme limit. I think if I was like always like decent, if I was like always very secure with myself and chilling, and it was also lustful. I was a lustful guy. I wanted to get laid. I was very horny, man. The combination of wanting to get laid, being extremely lustful, and then also the deep insecurity and stuff like that driving me to take action and not feeling the pain of, you know, not approaching. The pain of not approaching was way bigger than any pain I could get from getting rejected or being told no. You know, once you reach that point where you're like, fuck, I should have walked up, I should have did something, and I didn't. And now that girl's living rent free in your brain. You realize that the pain of that is bigger than the pain of her saying, no, I'm not interested. You know, or even flaking. Like, once you see that clearly, you'll never not take action on a chick you see at a grocery store or wherever, like, because it's just not worth it, man. It's going to eat you up way more if you don't do anything. Oh, the girl's going to be, oh my God, I should have did this. What if this happened? What if that? It's way more painful. You have to see that clearly, though. Yeah, and reps, man. So with those two ingredients led to a high number of reps, also having a lot of time during the day to do a lot of interactions. A lot of things lined up real well for me. So I profiled really well to get the results I got. Hey, Scotty, I did more than 150-day games. 25% of the time, the interaction have been good, but I have only got one date out of it. What's something to not do and do different? It's a good question. I mean, hats off to you for doing that many a day. I mean, wait, if I'm reading this correctly, 150 approaches a day. Well, what do you mean by they've been good? 25% were good, and you got one date out of it? That means that 25% wasn't that good if you only got one date out of it, man. You know what I mean? Something needs to change there. You know, my guess, like I said this to previously, the biggest thing is usually guys not being able to sexualize, keeping it on this wavelength, and that's it. Just not taking enough social risk. When you start to face your fear, which would be taking a social risk and being able to push the interaction forward and look it dead in its eye and you know, express with your truest intent how interested you are in this girl, things will start to turn around. You know, don't beat around the bush. I think way too many guys, beginners especially, beat around the bush with women. You know, once you realize that you're ready outside of the masses by just cold approaching women, then that's not enough. You know, if you see, wow, I'm in a very small percentile of men who are doing this, then back it up with something very direct. You know, don't just beat around the bush. It's good to be able to do it, but now, you know, go in with a lot more certainty, sexuality, and you got to ask yourself this basic question. Most guys don't. You know, what's driving you to do this? Why do you want to do this? Is it truly lust? Are you looking just for, you know, a hobby? You know, do you seeking companionship? I don't know. A lot of guys are just doing it for this fuck's sake of, you know, make it into a hobby or something. I don't know. They're not even horny, man. You got to also see, like, is your libido high? Are you horny? You know, that should move you a little bit, because say you're horny and you're jerking off every day. If you're not getting a date, not getting new girls, that's a good sign, actually, in a way, that you are fucking horny, man, that you want to actually go out there and have sex with a real woman instead of jerking off. That's a big driving force. So again, I would say sexualize, learn how to sexualize. Watch some of my videos and you'll be good. What's good, brother? I still want to try that spray. We chopped it up on IG a few months ago, but shit been crazy. Hopefully we can make that happen. Yeah, let's make it happen, bro. Please hit me up again. It might have went into spam or some other folder or something like that. I don't know. Hit me up. I don't see why I can't make that happen. Speaking of which, I always got one handy, my man. So delivered to your doorstep. Delivered to your doorstep. I'll have it delivered to your doorstep. Good shit, PK. Change your life. It will change your life. How do you respond to girls who say you are too young or old? You are too young or old for me. You just deal with it like anything else, man. You kind of just, as long as she's in front of you and she's still engaged and she's saying it, you know, in a lighthearted way, you know, she's flirting. You know, she could be just flirting with you and you could be like, yeah, you're way too old for me too. And then just continue the conversation. Carry on with your normal interaction. Flirt with her even harder. Just view that as an opening to flirt even harder. Sexualize it. Yeah, exactly. It's a shit test, basically. If she's standing in front of you and she's still engaged in the back and forth and she hits you with, you're a little too young for me or whatever, like, you laugh it off, bro. You just tease her back. Yeah, you're right. You're a little too old for me too, sweetie. And then just amp up the flirting, amp up the touching, everything like that. It's just basic stuff. It's the same as any other shit test. Or if a girl, you're laying down on a couch with a girl and she's telling me, oh, I don't want to fuck tonight. Yeah, I don't want to fuck either. And just continue going. In one ear, out the other. Remember, they're not really their mind. Their body is a bigger indicator of where they stand with you. And if they're standing in front of you, smiling, look at that and don't necessarily hear the words she's saying. Problem is, guys feed into the words way too much. Similarly to if you're sitting there escalating a girl on a couch right here, and you're rubbing her pussy and stuff, and your hands on your dick, and she's saying, no, I don't want to fuck tonight. I don't want to fuck. Like, the body is much closer to reality than what she's saying. In one ear, out the other. She just wants to see if you're a pussy. Girls are always checking to see where you stand. Like, are you going to fold at the drop of a dime of anything she says? Are you going to fold, or are you going to be able to so-called plow through it and just keep moving it forward to get in the sheets? $150 total approaches. Good for you, man. Hats off to you, man. I don't think 25% went good, though, because if you only got one date out of it, it's pretty insane, man. Good for you. Good for pushing yourself, man. I always say, dude, back when I was 22 years old, I was terrified of cold approaching, man. If it wasn't for a boot camp and that atmosphere of other guys, opening sets, coaches, the camaraderie, people pushing me, I would have never got any momentum to be cool with opening daytime sets, night sets, and whatever. It opened the door for me to forever have the ability to talk to strangers. So, good job doing it, man. But make sure, try to find somebody who's a little bit better than you to go out with, and, you know, have him give you feedback on what you're doing wrong. You're clearly doing something wrong. Also at night, I've been hitting bars in Boston. Chicks hugging, touching, getting... Yeah, dude. You know, I got to be honest, man. Bars are fun to get your... If you're at there... Let me break this down. I mean, like, if you're at a certain level in your game where you really get... You're not able to do day game and get any good responses. Night game's the type of thing to just boost your confidence a little bit without any, you know, being detached from the outcome, with needing to get, you know, conversions from. They're just a quick shot in the arm as a dude who's getting, like, totally blown out during daytime sets. Daytime sets are where it's at, really, in my honest opinion. I think day game is, like, it's going to show you really where you truly stand in the game. You'll be exposed really quickly because it's just you, mano a mano, one-on-one with this girl. She's, sometimes stopping a moving set is more difficult than a girl at a bar with some friends who anticipate guys giving them attention. So, if you've gotten no positive feedback from a woman throughout your entire day session, night game is there really to just kind of boost up your confidence a little bit so you don't completely quit. You'll get a bunch of numbers, but as far as them translating, they are very flaky, they're just it's just the way it is. You really have to close that night. You got to think about sealing the deal that night, which is extremely possible. So right place, right time, and you'd be willing and able to capitalize when a girl's walking out of a bar, after parties at my house, let's go this way, that type of thing. It's real easy. No, I don't think you should just continue, bro. Wait, are you the same guy? What type of numbers? I thought you were the same guy who did 150 in a day or total. I mean, yeah, of course. It's at the end of the day, play the numbers, but you're doing something wrong. Good. Oh, okay. So you do have wingmen who are players. That should really help you. Then keep doing what you're doing. Going out with them. Ask them to give you some honest feedback on what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. They may not know how to do that. Just because guys can get laid, they may not be able to give you solid advice. You just either have to watch them, which could be helpful, but they won't be able to get into your brain and figure out what the fuck you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Take a coaching session with me, man. I offer a lot of different things. I do just date if what I work with people's budgets. I'm trying to find a long-term partner from this. Do you think cold approach is a good way to find that, or online dating? I mean, I'm biased towards cold approach. I think it's better for sure. I've had way better girlfriends from cold approach. Online dating, not saying it's not possible, but I don't think it's. I think it's more of a woman's frame off rip. It's almost like online dating allows a woman to start dictating terms, They still could possibly do that during cold approach, but you have a better idea of what type of woman you're dealing with during cold approach right off rip. So it saves a lot of time on who the fuck you're dealing with. Can't hide behind the screen. But honestly, with that being said, as long as online dating isn't hampering you from cold approaching, which should be your primary way of meeting women, and online dating should be viewed more as a supplement. But when it starts to take over everything and become your primary, that's when you have a problem, in my opinion. I don't think online dating should be anyone's primary way of meeting women. Cold approach is where it's at because you're just overall becoming a better person, a more courageous. You're learning, you're growing, you're pushing your boundaries. It changes you as a person. What does the spray do? Honestly, man, I need to take a quick break. What it's supposed to do when you're fresh to it is just, I would say, you get more social. It reduces any sort of pain within the body. And it works with you. So if I'm tired, like in an hour or whatever, and I take some, it will help me go to sleep. I'll get a better night's sleep. And it also, in the morning, if I'm trying to get up, ironically, if I take some, it will kind of give me a boost of energy too. Definitely. So it's weird how it works with you depending on how you feel, which makes it very unique. So I would say it's a good sleep aid, and it's also good for wake up energy stuff. What's that? What's ABGs? I don't know what that is. Okay, so Al says you guys want to get laid easy, get rejected. It will make you angry. Fuel your fire to keep trying, and you'll find a girl for the night. 5 p.m., 2 a.m., go out different places, dress nice. Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's the thing, Al. It's very smart. It fueled me. That deep insecurity within me, you know, and harboring all those feelings I had in high school about not being able to pull the trigger, watching all my boys get laid. I'm not getting laid. I was able to take that, you know, negative emotion and negative energy and channel that to drive me. But a lot of guys, they don't always, you could take that type of energy and you can use it for good or use it for bad, depending on which direction you choose to go. Some guys will get bitter about the rejections and they'll go on the internet and you know, join a red pill group and just rage, fucking hate women, become misogynistic, all that stuff. So it depends on what you do with that energy, with that insecurity. But yeah, there's your formula, man. Tap into that energy that's really frustrating you, the fuel of frustration and rejection, and just channel that energy into fucking going out, doing everything you can to get better, man. Use every resource available to you. That's how important it was to me. You know, I hired coaches. I did whatever it took. I would go out with wingmen. I would meet up with different types of wingmen. I sought out all sorts of different people and places and did tons of research. And, you know, back then we had a lot of forums that were like, guys would develop a good reputations on, guys who were getting laid and stuff. I even had this one guy, Sleazy, come from Germany to visit me for a weekend, and we just gamed all weekend, dude. Like, I lived this stuff day in and day out. I would say definitely get it. You know, if you're gonna have an advantage too, if you're in your 20s, you know, don't waste your energy. You know, don't waste your fucking energy. You don't realize when you get older, you do tend to slow up a little bit. It's just natural, unless you start taking tests, which I might plan on doing in the near future. Especially if I keep hearing that it gives you, you know, that youthful energy back. Because I could just go in my 20s, dude. I could just go and go and go and go and go. Nothing would stop me, man. And that's with drinking and partying and everything. It was just, I could just keep going and going and going. You know, tap into that energy and use it for chasing women, bro. Oh, good, Kevin. Good, you're doing night game now, bro. I thought you weren't really doing night game, so I'm glad you're tapping into that market. It will make your day game even better, I think, too. It's good to be well-rounded and well-versed and know how to handle each circumstance, each situation. That's kind of one of the reasons why I want to go overseas or just go to a different country. The more cultured you get, the more experience you get gaming under unfamiliar circumstances and unfamiliar territory. It expands, you know, your mental capacity and who you are as a person. What do I think about Asian girls? I don't know, man. I don't know. They're hot. Some of them are hot. Not my number one preference, but they're decent. NYC has a lot of spots near Manhattan, East Village. What are some of the best spots for cold approach day gaming? Dude, you're in NYC? Good for you, man. Good for fucking you, man. You're in the mecca for cold approach in the US, no doubt. Yeah, Lower East Side, man. All the way from Washington Square Park, Union Square Park. I believe the name of that street is Broadway. It's got to be like almost 4 miles long or some shit, maybe more. Between, Broadway and Houston, that whole entire strip is epic. Especially weekends. Weekends, it's absolutely fucking ludicrous, insane, man. I was really impressed with Washington Square Park, to be honest. I back in the day, I didn't really game there that much, but we went back a month ago for a visit, and it was insane, dude. It was really, really good. Good for you, though, man. You're in New York City? Rich? That's good stuff. There's a lot of support there, too, man. There's a lot of interest in going out and game. You should have no problem finding a bunch of wingmen to go out with, dude. It's very, very conducive for game. It's really good to see. Nutrition, water, jog 6 days a week or walk 2 hours. What are you doing, Al? You're giving advice? You're saying that's what's important? Oh, to stay fit and to stay youthful? Yeah, those are some good things. I do a lot of walking. I try to walk. I should drop a video, Scotty's diet. I eat a lot of red meat. I eat steak every fucking day. And it's like almost raw. And then I have, as my side dish, I have yogurt, Greek yogurt or whatever, with some honey or peanut butter. Sounds like a weird combination, right? But it does the trick. It's good. Food is all an acquired taste. It's acquired. Have I ever been to Toronto for gaming? No, not for gaming. I'd love to go, though, man. I heard it was good. I'm hoping my man Mike or John bring me up for some coaching, man. I'd love to go there. I've been in Toronto before, but before gaming, when I was into bodybuilding, I went to see a bodybuilding show in Toronto. It was a beautiful city, man. It was a beautiful city. Hang on a minute. Hang on. I'm back. I'm back. This stuff is delicious, bro. Absolutely fucking delicious. Yo, we're up to 7 dudes, man. I made a mistake. I should have just kind of chilled tonight and went online earlier, man. I got to be more consistent with this fucking shit. I mean, dude, if you like raves and music festivals for picking up girls, I say by all means go for it, dude. I've never really dove into that, but I mean, I've heard plenty of guys having success with it. try what you like, especially if you're interested in that type of stuff. By all means, lean into it. Anything you're genuinely interested in is just gonna elevate your game when it comes to combining both of those factors. Good shit, Rich. Yeah, you're in a good spot, man. You're in, what? Give me some of your specs. What's your height? Your weight. What would you say your SMV is? What are you like? Are you tall? What's your nationality? Yeah, I mean, there you go, Will. There's plenty of dudes who game at music festivals. They love that shit. Because here's the key. I'm not just saying that to say that when you're gaming in places that you genuinely like and something that you got to ask yourself, would I be going to these places if, would I be into this if women weren't even involved? Would I be enjoying myself? That's going to make you less attached to the outcome, which in turn makes women more attracted to you because you don't come off thirsty. That's it, man. When you do things that you like and then you pick up girls there, it's going to be less attached to the outcome, which is key, which is really attractive. Yo, when I escalate in set, typically right off rip, it's go time the moment we lock eyes, the moment she stops, it's go time. Meaning just handshake, touch, hold. And depending on the feedback you're getting, you calibrate accordingly. The right time is right when the set starts, basically. I mean, to make it simpler, I guess right when you introduce yourself, which is, early on in the interaction, better, because if that's what it's going to take, if you want to use the handshake as a bridge to start escalating, I mean, you don't need to. You could just touch her on her shoulder right off the bat, but I think it eases you into the physicality of the whole set. Yeah, high five is another. Yeah, high fives are great. High five, handshakes is the way to screen. Holding, yeah, this guy just answered your question exactly right. Holding hands, high fives. Appreciate you, Rich. Thank you, my man. Yeah, hopefully, man. I just got to be more consistent. I think as long as I get better at articulating this stuff, being able to deliver the message, and then it's a lot of work, all the, how these guys perfectly edit these videos and shit. And yeah, there's a lot of upside, I think, on YouTube. I mean, it'll be nice the day I collect my first YouTube check. That's going to feel fucking cool. Yeah, I mean, go-to lines. Just look at some of my infields, man. There's a few things I don't go in with a script or predetermined script. Sometimes it could help if you're really frozen and you're not doing anything. Like if a guy's not doing anything and they're determined to need a line or something, by all means I'll give them a line, But I never really go in with predetermined script and shit like that, That's the problem. Guys are so in this online dating copy paste mode that they think that that translates into like real person, in-person interactions, which it just doesn't. I mean, there's one that I like a lot. Is like during the handshake or whatever, I'll be like, damn, you're so I could say a lot of things. I like keeping my brain open where I can use a lot of different things. When I box myself into just one thing, you're limiting your potential because there's so much you could say right at that time. As long as you get quick with the tongue, give yourself the freedom to use a lot of different things, anything you want, or at least come up within your mind like 5 good things to say. Like sometimes I noticed when it's scripted though, it comes off less genuine. I never got into the whole like predetermined scripts. Like, okay, if I hold her hand at this point, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say this. I don't know. It's just weird. And then once you say that, it's like there's an element of like disingenuous, like a disconnect. The goal is to genuinely try to connect with the girls. Like that's the quicker they'll like you, where it feels organic and new, and fresh. I'd rather stumble on my words and say like, "Oh shit, look what you got me doing. What are you doing to me? You're so sexy. I'm like freezing up. You got me so nervous." Just expose yourself in a fun, flirty, like joking way, and it just diffuses how you feel if that's how you truly feel. Don't just use what I just said as a line, but if you genuinely feel nervous, a good way to diffuse that is by just calling yourself out. That's the way that I've always noticed. Similarly to if I'm on live with you guys right now and I'm having a hard time coming up with something to talk about, I may just say that, like, dude, I don't know what else I could say. Like sometimes just being honest. I'm using the word exposure to diffuse the situation. It kind of just diffuses it. When you let something fester in your brain without calling it out, it just seems to grow and grow and grow and magnify. Like just call it out. Like if you are genuinely nervous in a set, and you let it sit there and you just sit there and it gets awkward and creepy and awkward and say it. Be like, "Oh damn, you got me so nervous. I'm really like nervous. Look what you're doing to me." Like it's good to just get it out there, and it just seems to diffuse those nerves. And then she's like, "Oh, why are you nervous? Why? You shouldn't be nervous." And she'll giggle and laugh and flirt, and then you're back. You're back into a more relaxed state to continue the talk. Because I was going to say, when you shake the girl's hand, you can go in a lot of different directions. Your hands are so soft, or you can go, "Wow, your handshake is so tight." You're very militant. I don't know. You could say a lot of fun things. Your daddy taught you well. Where'd you get that strength? Where's that? Where's another one? You have a death grip. You have a real good grip on my hand. You must grip things really well. And then you smile and smirk. You must have a real good grip on things. That's a good one. I just thought of that now. Like give your brain the freedom to come up with some cool things. And the only way that can happen is when you don't box yourself into like, "Oh, that's good. I'm just going to use this." You don't get, your brain is naturally, should come up with some cool things. There's so much material right there. There's an attractive woman standing right in front of you. There's plenty of cool things and material to use in that setting. All right. Good, Al. I'm glad you're inspired, man. I'd love to work with you, man. We should go out. We should go out and meet up and game. You've been one of the dudes from day one, Al. You've been commenting since day one. Honestly, not that persistent when it comes to like, are you talking about in person? I mean, you'll know pretty quickly. You don't have to keep, saying, let's go to my house, let's go to my house, let's go to my house. Like if you're at a bar, for example, and she's like, no, I don't want to go back to your house. I mean, you could chill. Oh, okay, whatever. And then you just keep escalating, escalating, escalating until say, fuck the car. That's why I don't like boxing myself into bringing the girl back to the house. You got to make sure that you're down to fuck in the back seat of your car, shit like that, because you have to start thinking of other ways that you can get laid, that come more natural. Okay, yeah, we're not going back to my house. You think you're getting sex tonight? I don't do that on the first date. Just play into it, lean into it. Oh, okay, good. She'll agree with you. You're just agreeing with her, basically, and you move on. But be willing then to still escalate. Oh, you get past it. The quicker you get past it, never feed into the bullshit. Never feed into the, oh, I'm not fucking. I'm not going back to your house. Don't start logically going back and forth there. That's when you start to lose any leverage you have. You agree, and then boom, you move on, and you keep, moving forward. Keep escalating. As if it didn't phase you. That's the most attractive way to go is being unfazed, and agreeing. Yeah, whatever. No, forget it. I wasn't thinking about it. Sex on the first date, you're crazy. You can make a joke, a light joke out of it, and then you just keep escalating anyway. Your actions are doing one thing. Girls love almost that, when you're, confused. Not I'm not going to say confusing them, but mixed signals. Mixed signals are great. They're great. And it's almost like you have no control over it. So even if you are verbally sitting there agreeing with her, it's almost like she's so attractive and you're just, you can't even help keep your hands off her, and she's doing the same back. That's like when a woman's pussy's wet and she's saying, no, I can't have sex. Her body wants to have sex. So her body's giving her mixed signals. She's in conflict. Her body wants to fuck, and her mind is saying no because of society and her past. So there's always this battle going on. Honestly, dude, I just first date to the house. I usually go for a close bar because the house to me is not a big thing. Fucking in my car is a real option. As long as I get the girl bar, then we were in my car. That's a serious option. Very good option. Because there's so much stigma around, especially someone like from online. We're going straight to my house. There's so much stigma around that. I mean, I could go for it if you're really, you have to really be in tune with what vibe she's giving you. You have to really be in tune. If you're getting DTF vibes, obviously just say, yo, come back to my house for a bottle of wine or a glass of wine. And you'll just know off rip, okay, this girl's actually DTFing down. But if she's been a little more uptight and you may have to chip away a little bit more, definitely use the car as an option. Use the location at the bar as a good option. I mean, I'm in usually good venues, dark venues with private corners where you can escalate, start fingering the girl and she could jerk you off. Go to good venues because that's all that matters. It's not about the house per se. It's just the stigma around inviting her to your house. Before any of that, it's going to put up a little bit of a wall. Doesn't mean you're not going to fuck. I mean, just, in fact, fuck in the car or start basically fucking her in the venue. You're an Indian guy who came from India to the US for studying. I'm 5'8". I think I look good around. Pretty fit, great chest, and low body fat. I have an accent though. Clickbaity titles. Todd runs everything. Todd V runs his entire thing. I find that hard to believe, having that he's so big, that he's doing editing and everything for his videos and titling videos. Someone at his size, that's crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah. Big, let's go in the back seat. It's better. We could, it's more room. Exactly. Let's get in the back seat. There's more room. I want to get closer to you. I want to give you a massage. Period. Nolan, what do you mean? What are you referring to? Does what apply with day game? This whole pull stuff that we're talking about? Yeah. In fact, those are how you usually get daytime pulls. When you're with the girl, cars are great, bro. Is that what you mean? I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Clarify, man. Let's see what we got here. Yo, that's wild, man. Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun. So, an hour and 17 minutes, man. Shit is flying by. AK, I think I caught one. Yeah, I caught some shit, not gonna lie, man. I did. I've had both incidences, of course, man. You don't do it this shit for close to damn near, 12, 15 years or whatever. I don't know what it's actually been. It's probably like been close to a decade. Not 15 yet. I really officially start. I lost my virginity in 06, but I didn't take a boot camp and really start gaming until 08, where I started to really rack up numbers. 08 to 2014, 15-ish. About 6 years solid. And then I took a huge break. And now I've been back at it, for about 2 years or so since I got on Chris's podcast. So I'm close to a decade. Baloney, bro. It would help tremendously because it's going to directly affect your mind as well. If you're a baloney, I don't even know what the fuck that looks like. Or you mean just totally out of shape, flabby? Is that what baloney is? Out of shape and flabby? Yeah, that's got to weigh on your mental too, man. Like, you don't want to be unhealthy, bro. It doesn't sound good, man. So I think it would help out a lot, my man. Yeah, it's baloney flabby, right? You're like, because it's crazy. Baloney, you're flabby and unhealthy, bro, yeah, it's gonna. What do you think? It's gonna make a big impact. Yeah, it was great talking to you, Rich. Keep supporting the channel, my man. It's good having you contribute. It's a good question, AK. Oh, wait, I missed someone. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Nolan had a question. That's what I meant, because I've heard in the daytime women are more reluctant. Not, I mean, I've had a lot of daytime polls, man. I mean, it's still very much feasible, dude. It really is. Yeah, definitely the same method. Go for the car pulls. Go for the. Sometimes actually they're more open to going to your house during the daytime. Oh, come hang out by my pool or whatever. Let's watch the sunset. You know, on my patio. It's a little, more inviting and not as intimidating. So, don't go in with any like sort of preconceived notions that one's better than the other. Through trial and error, come up with your own decision on that. And regardless, it shouldn't affect your game. You're still going for the pull. You're still going for the pull one way or the other. So it shouldn't, determine anything, man. Okay, AK, how many girls were I hooking up with per year? I would say from the 08, though I got laid in 06 from my first girlfriend, but I don't even count like between 06 and 08. I really had 2 girlfriends, and I might have fucked one other girl. So like probably like, maybe a few more. I don't know. I think it was like 4 or 5 girls before I even got into game in 08. Which I think I was 21 in 08. I think no. Yeah, probably 21 in 08. So I got started pretty young. So from like 08 to 2014, 2015, I'd say a good 45. Like it would average out to 45 years, because some years were real high. Some years would come down a little bit because I was dating a lot of girls during that time period. I was really focused on rotations and seeing my same rotation girls, consistently making dates. Obviously, then the overall number comes down a little bit. That's why body count's retarded. It's all about doing what you want with who you want on your terms, you dictating shit, you having options, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about, body count, body count, body count. It takes up way too much of people's determining who's good and who's not. It's fun, I guess, to talk about, but at the end of the day, as long as you have options and you're doing what you want with who you want, dictating terms, calling the shots, fucking the girls you want to be fucking, what difference does it make? If you have a 4-girl rotation of all fucking girls that you would wife up, that guy's got ill game, and this other guy hasn't even gotten that, and he's just running up numbers with a lot of lower level women. So it's very ridiculous. It doesn't determine who's better and who's not. There's a lot of different routes you can go with having really good game. You could have 2 like really top level girls that you're spending a lot of time with, bro. You know what I mean? And then there's another guy over here who's running up numbers with, low quality bar chicks, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's not the end all be all. But yeah, I'd say it averaged out to, I'd say maybe 45 per year. I'm definitely over the 350, over the 300 mark, I guess. That's with a 7-year hiatus. Yeah, man, of course, Nolan. more questions? We got 7 dudes up in this bitch. Yo, any ideas on what I should do with some content? Throw out some ideas for some new content. I really think I should interview some hot girl and just ask her everything about dating, her insights, what she's experiencing. I think that would be solid content and just give a total different perspective on things. Plus, it would probably help out with views too. Guys always looking at a hot chick with nice tits. I think I should maybe do that. I was thinking about that. You like the infield without the street interview? Yeah, I feel like I don't have a lot of street interview. I only really do that when I'm working with PWF. But yeah, I'll do more infield. I think Saturday I'm gonna get more content, more infield. Guys seem to love the infield. If I knew how to edit it right and also break down some of the infield, I think those videos would do good too. I just suck with the editing stuff. Maybe I'll see if somebody's down to edit these videos where I can break down some of the infield. What's up, Uriel? Welcome to the stream. Oh, how to escalate? That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one, bro. That's a good one. I like that one. Appreciate you, AK. Yeah, I'm glad it's helpful, man. I'll definitely do some infield. So they're definitely on the way. Saturday I'm going out with the video guy. So be on the lookout for some new infields. For sure. Any more? My style of game, is it technical or natural? You have to make it clear on what the difference is. I guess I don't even like that word technical that much. So I would lean natural, because technical, I mean, you have to, especially as a coach, you have to be technically sound in terms of knowing what you're observing in other students, because it's not cookie cutter. You can't just say the same shit. Like, you have to really look at what this guy's strengths are and weaknesses. So from a coach's perspective, you need to be more technical. But as I think my style, I would say more natural for sure, but probably a combination. If a person wanted to get more corporate chicks, would you adjust your approach, and if yes, how? Under no circumstances am I really changing that much, to be honest with you. You know, I'm gonna be honest, not really. I feel like when you start to appease the woman, you start to lose yourself. You start to lose a frame and everything like that. You're appeasing to the woman; she's already like disinterested. It's about you calling the shots on, you dictating the terms. You're in charge. You know what I mean? Like, once you start to appease to the women in any dynamic, in a relationship or this, and you're starting to, like, appeased, like, oh, she wouldn't, you're in her brain thinking, oh, she wouldn't like that if I was too aggressive under that situation. Like, you lost. What turns the woman on is that you're doing, you're moving confidently, and you're owning what you do, and she's able to see that, like, whoa, okay. Because most guys are trying to adjust or cater to the woman under certain circumstances, or, oh, she's a good girl, maybe I should slow down, or, oh, she's a slut, so I'm gonna push it harder. Just run good game, bro. Like the stuff that you normally run. Don't adjust your shit. Whatever shit you're bringing to the table, keep, run it the way you normally run it. By and large, you know. I mean, yeah, nightlife is very easy to isolate. For the most part, it's very easy to isolate, but not really. Again, the whole like this versus that, this prefer. You just run your game no matter what, man. You're always looking to move the interaction forward, and sex should be in the forefront of your mind. Like it should be the driving force. So, it's like an animal going out to hunt, bro. You're looking to eat. You got to eat. Like whether it's the clerk at the grocery store, you know, don't limit yourself, bro. Think that you know, you can pull it off in any situation, really. What time do you get off? Or do you have a moment? Let's go back here, or whatever. Always be looking to eat. Always be looking to pull. You know what I mean? Yeah, nightlife, sometimes it's easy when the girls are all line out of the club and they're all amped up. And, the other night I was in a lift and I ended up, picking a chick up, and she ended up jerking me off. It's fun. Yeah, it's sometimes easier at night for sure, at the end of the night. But don't think you can't do it, during the daytime. How do I pull up on girls at the gym? I mean, you can use a situational opener. You can go direct. You can say, you caught my attention. Anything, man. You just move up on them. You just approach like you would approach in any other situation, bro. I mean, how long did it take for me to develop that masculine sexual vibe? However long it took, I don't know, man. A lot of hours. A lot of hours, man. Though I got to be honest, man, I've always liked going direct even early on. I felt very natural with doing that. I felt very natural going direct early on. So in a way, I guess I am kind of a natural. I just had to give myself permission, because the world will neuter you, and you'll be led to believe that, avoid people at all costs, stay in your lane, don't bother people, blah, 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 all that peer pressure. So I just needed to be free. Once I was able to free myself from that feeling, which is so powerful, even every day you have to battle against that, because most people just stay in your lane. Everybody's not this. We don't even live in a very social society at all. A socialized society. Everybody just kind of stays in their lane. It's really, really unfortunate. That's why people go to certain events or this and that, because they want to, they have to artificially allow themselves permission to be free and talk amongst each other, right? How ridiculous. Oh, no, I'm just chilling. I'm going to the grocery store. So that's not the norm to go out and socialize or whatever. So it's like, fuck it, bro. That's the hardest part, overcoming that. But once I, went to boot camp and gave myself sort of permission, open, then it did come natural to go direct. And direct just meant quicker, cutting the bullshit and expressing intent and getting in the bedroom as quickly as possible, or sex as quickly as possible. Sexual, look at your question, sexual vibe. That was the driving force. I wanted to have sex with these girls. Was the best approach. Being direct with them for me was very congruent with who I was. It felt most effective. Because everything else, it's got to get there at some point. It's got to get there at some point, right? Even these guys who preach indirect. These guys who preach indirect. At what point you're transitioning, right? At some point you're transitioning. So I mean, yeah. Is indirect conversation? The whole concept is fucking. I've debunked it. Anyway, like a conversation is. So I guess I'm going back and forth from direct, indirect. Or when you walk up, are you just a bitch? It's basically, are you a bitch and you bitch out and don't take any social risk whatsoever, and just either settle for an Instagram or number or eject, period. Are you bitching out or are you moving forward? Are you sexualizing this, and leading and directing this to the bedroom, period? Those are the two things. Nothing else matters. None of this indirect, direct bullshit. Yeah, are you just being a pussy? Are you unable to escalate and sexualize and move the interaction forward? That's it. The concept's been debunked. You hear, I can't leave with my friends. I mean, if you have a wing, sometimes I've been like, yo, I'm going back, bring your friends. My friend will be with us too, and we're going to have that after party at my crib. That's worked countless times for me. Go out with a wing, bro, and then have it set up where, bring your girl with you, whatever, and we'll go have a couple drinks at my friend's house. Sometimes that's a really good alternative, you know what I mean? Grab some fucking guy in the club, bro. Believe me, a lot of guys, if he's like, yo, do you want to go hang out with this chick? I'm going to bring her back to my place. It shouldn't be a problem being able to just bring the friends with them, really. Or if not, yeah, sometimes if they keep putting up that wall and said, I can't leave with my girl. You're basically meant you can't leave without my friends? Yeah, so sometimes that's it. Take a number and you leave if you really can't. But always be prepared to fucking take the chick and her friends back to the place. Have a few drinks. You know what I mean? But in some cases, you can't always break them off from their friends. If she's insisting she can't leave with their friends, depending on how strong of a objection is it. Like, is it kind of weak? You got to read the situation. Is it, I can't leave with my friends, but you guys keep making out. Well, then, be like, let's get out of here, and don't even say anything. Drag her off, basically. Or you can address the friends as well. Be like, she's in good hands. She's with me. Text her in a little while. Let her know that she's home safe. Blah, blah, blah. You can also diffuse address the friends and diffuse it. No, I don't plan on moving to Asia, my man. Not at all. But welcome to the stream, Manchu. You plan on coming to the U.S.? Let's get that work in, man. I definitely feel that peer pressure, especially in my city, cause I know a bunch of people and it makes it easy for me to make excuses. Yeah, dude, yeah. Especially in a small city, But that never goes away. We're not living in a social society. That's why people make events and they make it a big deal to go out on the weekend and go to places, because you can then give yourself permission to talk and everybody could talk. And it's, man-made and then artificially, created. Instead of, we wouldn't need weekend parties if everybody was just, partying and talking to chicks every day. Make it a part of your routine. But no, society says stay in your lane and leave people alone and don't walk up. And you see, so nobody else is socializing. So the massive peer pressure to just avoid people at all costs. Get your stuff and leave. Fuck you. You have to, be a trailblazer, and push up against that. Test it out. Push up against that. It's fun when you're able to override that shit. It gives you a lot of vigor and vitality when you push up, when you do it regardless of what the norms are. You get a burst of energy. And while other dudes end up seeing you and being like, yo, what's up, bro? That's awesome, because they all wish to do it. People want to socialize. Society. It's what it is. But they don't do it. They wait till the weekend. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Don't. You're going to lose like that. Can't listen to fucking what the world tells you or society. Yeah, pickup is different, bro. Of course it's different. People are really different, man. I think they're different, bro. They're definitely different. The same way we're talking here on a live on YouTube at 3 a.m. It's kind of an indictment. It kind of shows you a little bit insight into like where we are overall in relationships as well. Everything it's primarily digital now. Sad to say it. During my peak years, so to speak, it wasn't digital. Digital was not primary, not even close to primary. In person still dominated, so hence women were more down to meet up, more down to go out, more down for everything. Less flakes. When digital is your primary means of communication, you're going to get more flakes. You're going to get, your quality overall in relationships is going to suffer. It's going to suffer tremendously. So again, another thing we have to fight against and try to go bring the old stuff back. Some girls won't even pick up your fucking telephone anymore. It's all texting. Yes, I do. I think sexual tension. Yes, sexual tension. Sexual vibes, sexual tension. Leading to sex. This whole thing is about sex. What do you do? Wait. What do you do to escalate and where to touch? Again, I do not go in with any premeditated scripts. I just don't. Because you have to remember, the key to a lot of this is just a genuine connection. And the more real it is in the present moment, and it shows you how, creative you can really get and how resourceful you can get. There's so much material in real time, like right now. Just be more aware of your surroundings, what you're doing. Have that silent witness who's just aware of everything to get spiritual on you guys. Cooler shit will come out. Our brains are supposed to freely think. Not premeditated scripts and stuff like that. So I know I could probably sell a lot of products by giving you guys a 1-step, 2-step, 3-step, 4-step. Probably sells really good. Every dating coach has one, right? But I don't know. It doesn't seem to map out for me in real time. And you're not allowing yourself the ability to learn in real time and be able to move on the fly, be able to adjust, be able to, you know, calibrate accordingly. Like there's so many things happening in real time. You know, a 5-step program is not gonna get you anywhere in real time. You're gonna feel like there's a big disconnect, as there should be. You know, but I mean, I'll try to answer here. What do you do to escalate and where to touch? You know, when you have the handshake, you know, you just hold the hand, you could touch the arm, you could have fun with it, play with her arm while you're so soft. You know, do you always have this tight of a grip? Even if she doesn't, just make, you know, lean into that. You know, you can pull her in closely at that point. You can spin her. There's so many things you could do. There's so many things. There's not just one thing to do. You know what I mean? You can touch her lower back, her belly. You know what I mean? You know, you touch the back of her neck, pull her in and touch the back of her neck. Oh, wow, come here. We look so cute together. You know, that type of stuff is fantastic to pull her in. You know, do a playful picture together. Touch her wherever you want, bro. Once you're in the heat of the moment and you're really with this woman and she's allowing you to touch her and hold her hand, you should almost naturally be cool with that and know what to do. You know what I mean? You know, you're basically just moving up the compliance ladder all the way to the intercourse at that point. No, I'm always usually going for the pull, man. Because if it's there, you got to be willing to take it, man. So, yeah. The intent is really to get laid, dude. Yeah. Because if I go in with the mindset I'm just getting numbers or I'm just going to get a number today, I mean, you know how many girls I might miss out on? Some girls that are DTF and their buying temperature is so high after such a great interaction, you know, and you're charging her up for 20 minutes and she's ready to go, but I'm going to take a number at that point? I don't think so. No. And every interaction in that sense is the same. I'm looking to sexualize the interaction. That's clear. So if it's good and it's going really well, her buying temperature is high, I'm not taking a number at that point. I'm going to see what's up. I'm going to keep moving it forward and find a corner or a car or something to push. I honestly don't know too much about Paul Jenka's game like that. I mean, do I think he's able to game masterly due to his attractiveness? I think it might have helped, sure. But I'm never going to take away somebody's, minimize the work they put in to get the results they did, That's not the only thing. You have to be, the dude always says he was also very much driven by lust and sex. He wanted to get laid a lot. That was the driving force. That in conjunction with whatever his God-given, talents or whatever, his God-given genetics, those are things that are out of really our control. Though I know we can improve our attractiveness to a certain extent. May go up a point or two, but he did the stuff he could do. You got to focus on things that you could do to change the situation. If you don't like where you're in, you could change something. You could, you can't take away a man's, ability to put the work in and the time and effort that it takes. So I definitely tip my hat to anyone doing that. He's changing the patterns and the behaviors of, to get a result he's looking for. I'm Eckhart Tolle, bro. I read a lot of his books. I read a few books of his back in the day. I'm actually probably going to get this removed. So Scotty will no longer be notorious for the dude with the face tats. Because I'm really interested now to see if it does make a difference. Because either way, it doesn't. I don't give a shit. But if the world gives a big fuck, and you know you're getting categorized very quickly because of it, I want to just see what type of reactions I get now. I think it would be quite different. What do I say to sexualize the interaction? Basically, any sort of, you know, first off, your sub communication is key. You know, if you're have that burning, searing eye contact, if that's there, oftentimes you don't even need to say a word, bro. You could just smile and smirk at the girl, and you guys know what's up. So sometimes verbalization is not even, you know, necessary, bro. It really isn't. Just that's how strong your sub communication has to be, where you should feel like you're at the point where words is just icing on the cake. You know, it was already on like the moment you guys locked eyes, and it was just bam, like blah 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 blah, and then you're pulling her off into your car, house, bathroom, whatever. You know what I mean? So your sub communication's got to be super super on point. That's why I'll give a beginner, like, that's why I think compliments can serve as a bridge. I think it's better than not saying nothing and just yapping about whatever. If you keep pushing that, you know, wow, you have really nice lips, and then just slow down your speech. Take bigger pauses to focus on your sub-communication, eye contact, and then throw in a genuine compliment. Wow, you have beautiful lips. You know, I wish we had a bed right now. Anything, I mean, like, something like that, dude. So it's sub-communication first, and then what you say is just, it either could lead you in the direction of, like, intercourse, the bedroom. That's it. You know, like, the sub-communication of, like, it's on to sexualize right away, like, in one of my infields, I think I'm saying like, oh, wow, you got face tats everywhere. But it's super, super sexual. I'm holding her hand and I'm going like this and rubbing her head and then saying, oh, wow, you're blushing. You look so cute. You know, it's just, you know, I mean, if you've had sex before with a girl, you kind of have an idea. You've escalated and sexualized at some point in your life, unless you're a virgin. But yo, it was great chatting with you boys. I think I'm gonna hop off. Oh wait, is this an hour? I don't know, 100 and something minutes, I think. You know, I hope you guys have a great night. Hopefully you got some value out of this. It was good chatting. Tell your friends and family and share, share, share. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Good night, folks. Peace. I don't even know how to turn this off. Yo, thank you, man. Thank you, Test. Yo, I don't even know how to turn this off, so I guess I'm stuck with you guys. Oh, here we go. Okay.